He didn't do it. We didn't do it.
Wasn't me either.
It's kind of chilly this morning, huh?
What? Hey.
Throw it out that way. Like a land in the water and leave, I mean like a dive. Hit him. That lunkers. Oh, cooked water turkeys. Shoot 'em, boys.
Dude, them water turkeys, when you shoot them things, they sound like a freaking human being hitting the water.
You get ready to try somewhere up?
Yeah.
We're in 6 foot of water. Hey, if you want, get us a little closer. So that way y'all can cast all the way up on that bank.
And do what? Oh, yeah. That's horrible.
That tree is not over.
Did you throw on that point good?
Yeah.
This rod.
Good, are you?
Big habitats goes in over there. That's what that is.
Okay.
I've got it in the graph chart. You'll see all that habitat down through there.
Okay.
Like y'all fishing, trying to catch them deep, that's where they're gonna be. So, anyway,
Thank you, sir.
good luck.
Sorry.
Hey,
Scoot off and go to another
leave, go
point.
somewhere else.
Where you want to go up to that one point?
That one
Yes,
point
'cause-
that you lost that 3, or you or Logan lost that 3-pounder off of.
I lost that 3.5 right there.
Yeah, but that was Jacob then. He lost a big fish over there, yeah.
Do something, cause ain't gonna do no good right here.
Get your life jacket on. Before you start the boat. So have they been sitting there catching fish?
Do what?
Is that where they caught all their fish at?
Yep.
Dude, they've been sitting here all morning catching.
Hey, y'all hang on, I'll check it.
Just unhook it when you say yo.
I'll catch some fish though. You know what I mean?
That's the saltest spot I've ever caught before. You can pinch the tail.
He'll keep 14 and a half.
I'm not really excited about that fish, but hey, we're on the board now.
Dude, we're on the board. Should have caught bigger fish. No, they don't.
Just flipping.
Hey, get the film in. Fish. Hey, they're on a spinner bait. They're eating. I'm gonna keep going. I caught 3, I caught 1, 4.
Here we go. We got one fish. Just go ahead and put it in there. Bag and all. I'll just put that in. Alright, we got a big bass of 1.46 pounds. Good job, guys. Hold that fish up and we'll get a picture with it.
I guess they can't see if I'm smiling, can they?
You got the deep off. It's in the boat. Okay, we're going to get it right close. Okay.
Hey, I can go get it.
And bring it.
Alright guys, what's going on? If you could not tell by the title of this video, this tournament did not go as planned. It's not that we didn't put enough effort, enough time into this. I think we pre-fished this this body of water the tournament was being held on. I think we pre-fished it twice. So, and we found fish. The last time we pre-fished it was 4 days before the tournament. The bad thing about that is a lot of things can happen in 4 days. So, this is what happened and caused us not to place in the tournament. Okay, to start it off with, as y'all probably know, when you're fishing bass tournaments, it's all about decisions. A decision can make or break you in a tournament. It can make or break you in a tournament. It can cause you to win. It can cause you to get dead last. And that's exactly what happened to us in this tournament. We did not make the right decision. We knew where the fish was. We just didn't make the right decision, and this is how we didn't. All right, so when we were pre-fishing, we found a spot that was this rock point, natural rock. I mean, it was like boulders. It was natural And so them fish were on it, and we had a south wind blowing during when we were pre-fishing. Not south wind, scratch that, north wind. And it was just like perfect. And I caught a 4-1 off that point. We lost a couple 3s. We got a couple 2s in the boat. I mean, we might have caught 2 out of like 10 fish that was not keepers off that point. And then we were like, well, we found fish on this point. Let's not fishing too much. Let's go. So we went and we found 4 or 5 other points. You know, we had plan B, we had plan A, B, C, D, E, and even Z all the way down here at the end. You know what I mean? So, so we had backup plans. It's not like we walked in there and was like, oh, that spot, that's where we're going to fish. We don't need to worry about anything else. No. We had it planned if the wind changed up, what we were going to do. But this is what happened. So we knew that there was fish on that tournament. That was the main place where we were catching almost all of our fish on. And so we said, and the fish had not been biting on that rock point until around 10:30 to 11 o'clock. And so we was like, well, that spot is all the way at the other end of the lake. Why don't we had a few points, a couple docks that we'd been catching fish on during pre-fishing. We said, well, we can go in there, catch a couple fish, and then book it down there to the main point where we catch most of our fish off. So that's what we done. That was the first mistake we made. We should have headed straight there. If we would have headed straight there, we would have placed in this tournament. But anyways, let me get back to that. So we headed, we fished them 2 places, come up with nothing. Didn't even get a bite. We were like, well, let's book it to this place. Book it to that rock point. Laid the pedal down. We're getting after it. And pulled up, and there was 5 boats, including us, sitting there. We're like, you gotta be kidding. About that time, our hearts just, like, broken. We're, like, over there, you know, in a frenzy. And so we fished it for a little while. There was 5 boats on this little bitty point. I mean, this point was nothing. So we were like fishing. There was a boat left here, boat left there. We were fishing. We were like, man. They said that the boat that got second in this tournament said they'd been coaling all morning. They didn't have 1 or 2 pounds in their boat. And so we were like, man, they've been catching them all morning. The fish are probably really spooked. We have 3 or 4 other points that we had pre-fished and caught fish on. So, that we had not fished yet. And we had like 2.5 hours until weigh-in. So we said, hey, you know what? Let's book it down there. We can make it. So we took off, and our goal was to fish all them points. You know, try to catch enough fish. We were trying to keep a positive attitude. Let's go. Let's book it. We're going to catch fish on that point. We'll have enough for weigh-in. Maybe we'll place. We went down there. Didn't catch fish on 2 of the points. And one of the points we showed up on, and Logan said, hey, Ethan, why don't you throw a shaky head? I said, well, nothing else is working. You know, we had been throwing a square bill because that's what we caught them in pre-fishing on. And so I picked up the shaky head. It had like an 8-inch worm on it. Flipped it out a couple times, flipped it out. All of a sudden, wham, caught one. I was like, you know, we were all pumped. Get the net, you know, and he didn't weigh. He didn't cut it. So we caught, on that point, we caught 4 or 5 fish, and only one of them was 14 inches, was only a keeper. So now we're down at an all-time low. And then the second mistake, let me get back. Our first mistake was not going straight there. Our second mistake was not staying there after we got there. That was the second mistake. And if we would have done that, we could have won the tournament. Because the people that, the team that come in there, they come in there later in that day. And they got, after we done left, they caught their whole bag there. Caught all their fish there and won the tournament. And so that's how we messed up. So, and then to make matters worse, like a minute before weigh-in, I mean, we could see the corner. The weigh-in was just like 200 yards away, and I was like, and Jacob, our boat captain, is like, last cast, and I was like, all right, I'm like just going, you know, I just ripped it as far as I could. I was throwing a little rattle trap, cranking that thing back to the boat. It hit the rock, and next thing I know, boom! I said, "Oh shoot!" Wham! And when I hook set in a weird position. It just caught me so off guard because we were such in a slump, man. We were just depressed. We had only caught 1 fish, and we only one keeper, and I hook set that fish, and I was getting with it. It surprised me so much, and he was running straight towards the boat, and I was in a pinch, and he was like fixing to be right there, and so instead of having my rod tip up, I was like, he's gonna spit it, he's gonna come up. I felt him coming up, and I was like, well, I didn't get that rod tip down. So first thing I done is I reeled it as fast as I could, swung my rod tip down, one swift motion. I don't know how many times I've done that, and that's what you're supposed to do. And I swung that rod tip down, and it gave, I don't know, with him running towards the boat, it just wasn't the right call, and it gave him not enough slack. I didn't think to do anything, and it just gave him just enough slack. He popped off right at the boat.